begin with a remarkable story of survival out of Thailand. 12 boys and their football coach have been found alive after spending 9 days trapped inside a cave. The group became stuck in the complex cave system after heavy rains flooded the exit. Rescue teams from all over the world have spent days searching for them. Some have been spending their nights inside the cave to speed up the search.
About the 13 missing people. The latest report from the SEAL unit, which went in and managed to reach Pattaya Beach. They found the beach flooded, but then they went further, about 300 to 400 metres, to another area of high ground. They found our young brothers are safe.
Let's join Scott Hyler now, who's in Thailand. So tell us a bit more about how these boys were found and what kind of condition they're in.
Well, we don't know exactly how what the condition is of the boys. You know, we've been covering this story right from the beginning, and what's been amazing is that the effort that's gone behind this, and particularly today, there was such a focus on the divers. You know, because we've had kind of like cycles where they went up to the hills, they tried to drill into the major cavern. They were saying that this is probably where they are. But the focus today was on Pattaya Beach. And that's clearly now where we're hearing where the boys and their coach were found. Now, exactly what their condition is, the details right now are very sketchy. Now, earlier in the afternoon here in Chiang Rai, we heard that there might be a possibility that the boys were being brought out. But again, this is something we've heard the last several days. But obviously now, all the boys and their coach have been pulled out, have been found, I shouldn't say pulled out, have been found alive. Now, the big task right now is getting them out of the cave. And this is not an easy thing. Because when you look at the topography, you look at the mechanics of what's going to take place, what has to take place to bring them all out is not an easy task. It obviously depends on the water level of the cave structure where they have to come back out through. But right now, the Thai government and the Thai officials are saying things are looking pretty positive. But again, they're saying they've been found. All 13 of them, the 12 boys and their coach, have been found alive. But how they're going to get out alive, how they're going to get out well and healthy, that's still to be determined over the next couple hours. And it must be a terrible, I mean, sort of relief for the parents and the relatives, but at the same time now anguish because they still haven't got them out properly, have they? Exactly, yeah. No, we've been with these parents for the last several days, and it has been absolutely terrifying for them every day, trying to cope with the idea that their boys are trapped in this cave. Obviously, the idea, the concept now that they have been found alive is fantastic, but getting them out safe and sound is another thing. Now, the thing is right now, you know, this is late in the evening here in Thailand, getting them out and how that's going to happen is a big, big challenge. Now, we know over the last several days, the last several hours today, that there have been a lot of oxygen tanks, divers' oxygen tanks being kind of stashed outside of the mouth of the cave. We kind of assumed that they were getting close to something that's some kind of discovery, if you will. Now, if that's why they were doing this, is to get the boys out, maybe. We're not quite certain yet. Again, the government is not giving us too much detail other than saying that, yes, they've been found and they're all alive. But how they're going to get them out, it's going to be, it depends on the water level and depends on where they were found within this cavern, how technical it's going to be to get them out of the cave. Again, they're saying, yes, they've been found, but they're not out just yet. And you mentioned the water level there. At one stage, there was quite a big draining operation going on. Is that still up and running, or have they had to stop that for the moment? The draining operation has pretty much been going on steadily for the last several days. The efficiency of it has kind of gone up and down based on the rainfall. Now, there's been today and yesterday, there hasn't been that much rainfall, so obviously the drainage process of that, the pumping out of this cave system, massive cave system, some 10 kilometers throughout, obviously depends on how much rainfall is coming. Because to break it down, essentially this is a cave system that's encased in a mountain, in a small hill. So when rain falls on the mountain, on the hills, it drains into this cave system. So even though they're pumping the water out, and they have been pumping the water out, you're battling the elements of all this water falling on this hill system going into the caves. So it's a very uphill battle. So every day they say, yes, we've pumped out X amount of liters, X amount of square footage of water. But when you're thinking about how vast this system was with the hills and the water coming down, it's big. So now we know that hopefully they're able to drain the water enough in that little bits. Now that we can isolate where the boys and their coach are, we can isolate what they need to pass through to get out of the cave system. That's where they can focus. Before, we didn't quite know, or at least that we weren't being told. We didn't know exactly where they had to focus on that drainage, but now we do, and hopefully now they'll be able to, we'll get good news of them coming out in the next couple of hours.
Indeed. Scott Heidler, thank you very much indeed for that live update there on those 12 boys and their football coach who've been rescued, or at least have been found inside the cave complex. As Scott was pointing out, there's still the delicate operation of getting them out, and we don't know yet what condition they're in. So 12 boys and their football coach have been found alive in Thailand. We'll bring you more on that story as soon as we get more information.